functions of a lysosome, and whereby we have another function of lysosome, that is exocytosis, or it can be termed as the extracellular digestion. Extracellular digestion. So we have this function of lysosome, that it acts as it function in exocytosis. So we have to ask ourselves, so what is it, and lysosome inafanya kazi gani kwenye that way? So here we can say that the exocytosis is the process responsible for breaking down damaged cellular components and some unwanted proteins which are expelled out of the cell. So this exocytosis tunasema kwamba yenyewe iko kwa ajili ya kuvunja all of the damaged cellular components, either hiyo component ya cell au hiyo organ ilikuwa haifanyi kazi vizuri. So this exocytosis process will tend to break down all of the damaged cellular component, and thereby after damage now you can see some unwanted protein which are expelled out of the cell. They are removed out of the cell kwa sababu tena zinakuwa hazina function yoyote ndani ya cell. So hiyo kazi kubwa inafanywa na exocytosis, or we can say that extracellular digestion. The word here extracellular, meaning that just the digestion which are taking place within the cell, but it tends to remove all of the unwanted or damaged cellular component out of the cell, and that is extracellular digestion. So one of the cause of aging is that in a long-lived cells, the type of metabolic waste that cannot be broken down accumulate, and the lysosome may release them outside outside the cell by exocytosis. So also remember, we have also aging components which are found within the cell. So those aging components or those aging organelles zinakuwa hazifanyi tena kazi ndani ya cell. So inatokeaje sasa? Ndipo ambapo hii process ya exocytosis inatokea, or extracellular digestion. It tend to remove all of the aging, or we can say that it tend to break down all of the material or wastes which are not needed now by the cell into the surrounding. So that's the work of exocytosis or extracellular digestion. And also we can simply say that for example, the enzyme of lysosome are released during the replacement of cartilage by bone during development. That is, here we have seen that this is very good example. Now you can see the enzyme of lysosome are released during the replacement of cartilage by bone during development. This process it takes place during development, that is the release or replacement of cartilage by a bones. So hile process nzima tunasema kwamba inasaidiwa with the presence of this process or special process which is occurring within the cell, and that is the exocytosis. So it helps in bone development. But also lysosome of a certain cell such as spermatozoa discharge their enzymes outside the cell during fertilization. So pia we have also this process ambayo sasa ina include or inahusisha kwa upana zaidi hii function ya lysosome kuingia sasa ndani ya seli ili kwenda kudischarge its component outside of the cell during fertilization. We're going to discuss in a broader way while we are reaching on the process or on the topic of reproduction. How does the discharge of this enzyme outside the cell help to digest those fertilized egg and so on? So here you have only to know that, or to keep it into your mind, that lysosome of a certain cells such as spermatozoa discharge their enzyme outside the cell during the process that is the fertilization. And Now let's see the adaptations of the lysosome. How is it adapted to perform its function? Kwa maana kwamba je, ndani ya hiyo lysosome kuna vitu gani ambavyo vinasaidia ifanye kazi yake effective? That the work that is simply we can say that ile kazi ambayo tunaita autolysis, heterophag, autophag inawezaje sasa kufanya hiyo kazi effectively? And now here adaptation, one of adaptation, we can simply say that lysosomes are adapted to their function due to the following. The first, the presence of hydrolytic enzyme which catalyze degradation of unwanted cellular substance within the cell. So now you can see that is the presence of hydrolytic enzymes. Zile hydrolytic enzymes zinazopatikana ndani ya lysosome ndipo ambapo inasaidia kwenda kukatalyze or to degrade different kinds of unwanted cellular substance within the body. And now you can see this is the function that is autophag. So that involves the degradation of a cell. So simply here we can say that the presence of hydrolytic enzymes which are found within the cell now or within the lysosome ndiyo ambayo sasa inapelekea degradation of unwanted substance within the cell. So that it become the adaptation. It adapt is because or it's due to the presence of the hydrolytic enzyme that are found within it. But also we can simply say that the lysosome have the membrane that isolate hydrolytic enzyme from the rest of the cytoplasm. So this prevent unnecessary autolysis. Pia kwenye hili lysosome there is a presence of membrane. So the presence of membrane within the lysosome ndiyo ambayo sasa inasaidia kwa ukubwa zaidi kuweza kuzuia au kutenganisha, isolate hydrolytic enzyme from the rest of the cytoplasm, because if there is no that membrane, zile content ambazo tunaziita hydrolytic enzymes zina uwezo mkubwa sana wa kutoka nje ya cell then to destruct or to destroy all of the cellular components and thus become the autolysis. In order to prevent that, there is a presence of the cellular component, and now you can see due to that it helps to prevent unnecessary autolysis. Kwa autolysis haiwezi ikatokea pale just because of the presence of this just because of the presence of the cellular membrane or the membrane, or we can tell it as we can call it as the cellular membrane. So hili ndio ambayo ina prevent zile outside molecules or outside content isiweze kufanyaje kudhulika, is due to the presence of this autophag. So my student, now you can see those are the adaptations. There are few ones. Adaptations of the lysosome. Make sure that you are going to find in details more about the adaptations of the lysosome. How do lysosomes help to perform its function? For example, we have seen there is autolysis, there is also the heterophag, there is also the autophag, all of them. So unatakiwa uende uka search more in details what are those components or what are the adaptation of the lysosome so that it can perform all of the functions effectively. And my student, by saying so, this marks the end of our today's session. So thank you for following us, Educare TZ, and bye bye. Have a nice moment.